you missed us, but we're here with another episode of Tilted Talk. Trooper and Trooper.
Finally, we reunite yet again. I'm in a different location this time, an undisclosed location, just like the lore of the show was destined for.
Yeah, just like that trailer that you made.
I feel like I'm going to be moving around constantly because I went from sitting on the hardwood or on a carpet now to a hardwood floor, and I'm just going to be rolling around constantly. You got to teach me some stuff. I need to get a mat or something.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't know. It works somehow. But with you having moved, we will be missing our, never announced but always present special third member.
I know. Guy. What if he just makes a surprise appearance one day in the background? Just I didn't even give him a key. He just shows up.
Doesn't wear a shirt either in your house.
So why are you telling me the shows, man? The show is over here, man.
Oh man. All right. Well, a lot's happened since we last did one of these episodes. We're now into chapter 2.
Yeah.
Which is a cool way of saying it's a new season.
Not just to describe my life, my personal life, but it's like the new Fortnite, new everything. It's really is a big reset. It feels great.
Yeah. So whole bunch of new stuff that we'll talk about really quickly. Then we have the competitive and our first taste of competitive news that came out regarding chapter 2. Then, as usual, we will do some hot takes. We'll talk about some stuff Twitter's talking about, Reddit's talking about, all that jazz. And then finally, clips of the week, which honestly aren't that great this week. I think people are still getting used to everything. But hey, we get to watch some Fortnite kills.
There's going to be some down, dirty, nitty-gritty, like good old-fashioned style plays for the next few weeks, I'm telling you, because that loot pool, man, has been really rinsed and gotten down to just a lot of bare bones, a lot of necessity. They removed so much stuff, so many of those items that make those crazy clips of the weeks, the bouncers and any type of mobility play. There's so many things that people have added, the flint knocks, and that we've seen in countless plays of the week. So it's going to be I'm getting ready to see a lot of multi-kills again rather than 720 snipers for the win. I want to see a lot of like 4 or 5 man wipes or 4 man wipes or multiple squads or something.
Yeah, well, the reduced loot pool is definitely a nice effect of the chapter 2 changes. So let's just dive right into it since you segued us there so nicely.
Speaking of dive, you can do that now.
Yeah, you can. So there's a lot of stuff that's changed, honestly, with Chapter 2. First of all, the map. So Fortnite's always kind of just like changed some locations, but the actual core map itself has always stayed the same. This time, it's like everything's new.
Yeah. Even when you drop in for the first time, you don't know where you're at. It's question marks all over the map. And then wherever you actually land, wherever you visit on foot, it will unlock that part on the map for all the POIs. I really actually like that. It's like any open world game that you kind of play where the map isn't fully accessible yet or viewable. You have to kind of venture out and explore the entirety of it before they let you know that kind of thing. So that's really cool. I appreciate that too. I love the new design, by the way.
Yeah, it looks great. The whole I feel like the map overall looks cleaner now. Like it's hard to explain, but I feel like they did I guess they have
there was some
more
sort
modern
of graphical
stuff.
tweak because everything looks a little sharper. I feel like maybe they upped the saturation just a tad. I don't know. Everything just looks more vibrant, even more vibrant. Which kind of how the game felt when it first came out. That was another reason why I kind of kept coming back in my head to why this felt like a huge reset. And when I always kept saying as the seasons went on and on and on, I'm like, man, it's unfortunate to see that. I don't know if Fortnite's going to get back to the days that I remember how it was when I first started playing, in like 2017. If you were from those days, that was a long time back, like early season 2 or 3. And there was just such a slim loot pool. Everything was more simplistic, but obviously people didn't really build as much back then either. That's the real difference now. But man, this is the closest thing I can think to say like they're actually taking the game back to its roots, and it feels right. It doesn't feel forced in a way where like, hey, here's this brand new map with all these different locations. Everything still feels in line with like the first map and the first style of game. It's not too jarring, and I love how they split everything up. It's so perfect, and New POIs, the old same ones. You have Salty Springs, you have Retail Row still coming back, which I love. No Tilted Towers, which I also appreciate. That no version of that's come back. I think that now the map is so much more balanced with the way that it's laid out. Personally,
yeah, there's definitely a lot of like good spots that all have kind of like even distributions of loot and stuff, which is kind of cool. They also added in those like hiding spots, which are kind of weird in a way. Like you can just like hide inside like a trash can or a hay bale. It's almost like a throwback to like the bushes, but now it's like actually put into the game where you like actually just like yourself like can like press a button to hide in it, but you can't do anything. So unlike the bushes where you could kind of shoot and like pay attention and look at things while you were in the bush, this one you can't. Like you're actually, I mean, you can still kind of look around, but like you're stuck inside.
I love the way that
shield or heal.
Yeah, I mean, they had that it was a whole game mode, but then they brought it into the main game where there was a whole POI that you could do the prop hunt.
Furniture? No.
Yeah.
Go away.
I mean, I'll tell you what, they already started to lose me there, but then when they did taco time, that's when they lost me. So I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I'm a head out, like, it didn't feel right for me. That's where they started to lose me. This is such a great way to keep that mechanic in the game and not have it be completely out of unorthodox, out of the ordinary, or just more of like more of an FU style. I mean, it's just, it was so unfair before, but I mean, it's so simplistic now. Instead of just hiding in bushes, which by the way, they've added much larger bushes on the map too that you can hide in. Now there's like squad-sized bushes. I love it. And then also, aside from that kind of like shrubbery they've added, now there's certain things you can hide in. Are there other things aside from dumpsters that you can actually hide in?
Hay bales.
That's right. I remember because I hid in one, and I totally forgot when I played the other day. I guess the kind of drawback is that when you're in one, you do make kind of like a ruffle noise. When you're in there, like you'll hear the garbage maybe move around, or you'll hear the hay kind of rustle around. Like there is a little bit, so there is that audio cue. If you're have your ears open enough, you'll be able to pick up on it and get the jump on somebody before they get you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it though. I think it fits right in with the game.
Yeah, it's a good mechanic. I feel like it's like the happy medium. I definitely didn't like all the nonsense that was going on last season. So like the fact that they just like brought it back to such a simplistic, I feel like, version of the game where they removed all of the weapons and items and things that people were really having problems with, and like was really causing a rift in the community. Like I just don't think with a game like Fortnite you need to do things that are gonna make half of the community pissed. Like I just don't see why you would do that when you could just add things that nobody really minds. So like,
well, yeah, I mean the game also kept at its rate of every week, every other week, they were adding new stuff in the game. They were vaulting things, but at the rate that they were adding new things into the game, I mean, we were destined to just kind of reach this tipping point, which I guess I feel like they felt like they reached from a developer standpoint. And also, I'm not sure as of yet from what I could have found out from the patch notes if they did any performance updates this week. But I do know that there was like a little bit of a performance issue people had with the new season, which I feel like is understandable because the map is new. Everything is so new. The engine is slightly tweaked as well. But kind of have to figure all that into account too, like where if the game is going to work properly, going forward, that's I think going to be the main concern. They wanted to make sure they could get rid of all that bloat in the game, all that extra loot, and hopefully maybe slim it down, trim the game down to run a little bit smoother. So hopefully they can perfect that going into this new chapter.
Yeah. Well, definitely before competitive starts, and it starts soon, like in a month, or less than a month, November 1st. But we'll get to that here in a second. They've got some new supportive mechanics too, which I think are kind of so you can like shoot healing stuff at a teammate now.
There's kind of cool. There's a bandage bazooka that you can pick up, and it's interesting. It's the first item that I've seen that you can pick up that takes up 2 inventory slots. It's rectangular and it takes up two of your squares. So and it's a 2-handed item. So very interesting.
Wow.
And I tested it in solos. You can shoot it at your feet and heal yourself as well.
How much healing does it do? I haven't gotten my hands on it yet.
Good question. I actually didn't notice. I was in the middle of the game. All I noted was, oh, cool, it heals me. I think it's about 5 to 10 per shot. Okay. And then it reloads, has like a reload after a certain amount of shots as well, kind of like a balance to that. So you can't just spam it.
What is the ammo? Bandages?
That's another good question. It's such a new. I think it's such a new concept. I mean, and I was in solos. I only found one of it, but something I did notice, there was some consistency with the location. Maybe they kind of cut down some of the RNG a bit, where if you go to certain areas where you would expect to see maybe a healing item, like there's a like a base camp in there, like a medic's tent, or like a hospital, they'll show up in those areas, which I thought was interesting. I saw it in 2 straight games, and I was wondering, that's crazy coincidence if that was true.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would actually be kind of cool if they did stuff like that, where like they had like, fortified like army camp style places, and that's where you can get really high tier loot very often, or you have like whenever you see a medic camp or a hospital or anything like that, you're far more likely to find potions, bandages, healing bazookas, all that jazz. You can also pick up a teammate now, which honestly, while it's a cool idea, I don't think it's going to be used, because if you look at like gameplay already, like it's hard enough to revive your teammate right where they get downed. Never mind like pick them up, like bring them somewhere else and then revive them. Like it's just the time that it takes to do that might be too big, but I mean, I'm definitely down to see a cool use case.
If you down one of your enemies, like if you're in a build battle and in squads and then down somebody, could you I know you can pick up your enemies and carry them. Can you pick up your enemy and then just toss them off the top? Like, is that possible? I mean, what would happen?
If he's like, if you fight on the top of a building, just like down him and then be like,
kind of like an American Gladiators.
Yeah, you don't get to bleed out slowly, friend. You're getting flung from the top of this building. Hope you're not scared of heights. The ground hurts. Yeah, that would be an interesting way to kill somebody. Yeah, they've also got like flammable barrels on the map now too, like oil drums and stuff like that.
Gas stations actually blow up now.
Yeah, which is, it's like a nice little thing that's like, oh, this should probably happen, and now it does.
Yeah, you were like, why didn't I? This was something we should have complained about before. This is, it's something we didn't even know that we kind of wanted. It was just never something that was in the game.
No.
But I'm happy it is now, though. It adds a totally new dynamic. Gonna see some interesting plays.
It's kind of weird that they're making the game slightly more realistic with how cartoonish it is. You know what I mean? It's like this weird like juxtaposition of like realism and completely not real at all. Like there's no blood. People don't like they just fall down and crawl around and then they get back up. Like everybody's, no matter how much damage you've taken, the key is to bandage your arm.
Oh yeah, constantly. You're only shot right here. That's the only place you're shot.
It's like right in your forearm, right? And it's like just a flesh wound, because you can use your gun fine too. You can still do all the things that you need your hand for. It's just like, oh no, just grazed my arm.
Or
here.
now I'll just shoot the bazooka at your feet and you're good.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it's weird that they've got green rocket launchers now too. Have you found one of those? I did,
and I kind of was like, wait, what's this? Yeah. Is my game broken? Yeah, I believe they only do 90, roughly 90 damage. I think it's 87, I want to say.
That's so dumb.
So yeah, I mean, 3 shots kill somebody.
A rocket launcher should always be a one-hit kill. Like I wouldn't even be mad if there was nothing but gold rocket launchers and they always did 220 damage. Like at least coming from an FPS, like could you imagine in an FPS, any other FPS game, you have the rockets and it does like less damage than like it wouldn't kill somebody if you hit them with a direct hit rocket?
Yeah, Gears of War 5. They're exactly like that. They had their rocket launcher, their boom shot, where you were hitting people directly or at the feet and it wasn't killing them. That was a big problem. And I don't know if it was intended or what, but I mean,
have they fixed it yet?
Not that I know of. I mean, but even this, I mean, for Fortnite, this rocket launcher is clearly intentional to only have an output of a certain amount of damage. So
wait, so it can't even break a wall because walls have 100 health.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. No, well, the material damage is always slightly different.
Huh.
The multiplier on walls and everything.
Okay. Well, that's not as bad then.
You know, if they didn't vault the patch notes, we would know all of
We
these
would know
things.
all of these things. Where's the math, Epic? You're supposed to
Man.
leave those numbers out there for us so we can like figure it out. Otherwise, somebody has to like go
Crunch
into
the numbers.
yeah. If one of you has all the time in the world and not a whole lot better to do, go into creative and play test all this and then send us the numbers. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, it's kind of annoying.
On myself, actually.
I just don't have time to sit there and play test that much, man. Like, do the math on everything, pull up a spreadsheet, record it all. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Epic already has all these numbers. They're in the code.
Job.
Just them out. Yeah, it really is.
Check the Fortnite tracker. That might be updated. They haven't updated it in a while, though. But
well, maybe.
From what I last checked.
They have upgradable weapons, but asked you quickly before the show, and I don't think either of us have gotten our hands on this like crafting thing. I feel like it's a cool idea depending on what it does, but I have no idea. Like, does it increase it from like green to blue? Does it like? I have no idea.
I want to say that's probably the best assumption. Maybe turning like a regular AR into a scar. That'd be cool.
Yeah, on blue AR into like a purple scar.
Yeah.
I wonder how many mats you have to spend, or like, well, I'm assuming it's mats that you have to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you have to use a fishing rod and fish up something other than a weapon, which is another weird thing, by the way. There's now fishing rods in the game. They take up an item slot, which sucks.
Which I didn't expect.
So what are you supposed to do? Grab a fishing rod, then just go to like a stream and fish, and then like hope you pull up a gold SMG or something?
And also hope you don't get shot.
Yeah, that seems... I don't know. Maybe make like a little hut around yourself and then just leave the one thing.
Fish out the window?
Fish out the window. I don't know. That seems dumb, but hey, maybe it'll work.
I'm gonna build myself a boat.
There are boats. You can swim.
That's exactly. You can just.
I actually like the swimming component because it's like I don't think you can shoot while you're swimming.
No.
But you actually move through the water a lot faster, whereas before, like going across a river was like you almost wanted to build because you moved so slow through the water. Like remember in the Loot Lake matches, like if you were in the middle, you had to to either jump or build, and like most people just built, so you had this like random like long like boardwalk across the lake.
Well, there's I didn't see on the map if it was kind of designated, but there is a direction to the way the stream goes, so you can't really swim against it, but you can go with the stream, and it's a much faster way to travel. But I didn't notice when I checked my map in game, it doesn't like really specify which direction, so it's something that you kind of gotta maybe master on rotation.
I wonder if that's constant. I'm assuming that would be constant. Like I don't think they would change the direction of the stream every game, but that makes more sense. That'd be cool. But yeah, it looks like they've added some more ways to traverse around the map. Like there's all those like power lines that have zip lines from power line to power line. That lets you get around the map a lot quicker. So there's a lot of good stuff. No redeployable gliders right now, at least to start the season, which is fine because that sucked. So I'm cool with that. I think that covers all the major changes to the actual game itself. Like, I think they changed the battle pass and how that works slightly to like make it easier for you to get up in levels, so it doesn't feel quite so grindy.
Yeah. The only thing with that is that when you do things in game that you rank up with, I mean, I don't know if there's a way to turn off all those notifications you get because man, they're loud.
Don't like the badges?
I mean, at first I was like, oh, that's cool, but man, constantly in game, they're pretty loud and abrupt, and they do freak you out at first when you're not expecting them.
Yeah, I played enough Halo 5 to like just become accustomed to notification insanity. Like everything that you do in that game is like a badge, and I feel like in this game it's the same thing. Everything that you do is a badge.
Yeah, but in Halo you have them on the side, while these ones pop up in like the upper center of your screen. Big loud notification. So it does kind of interrupt your game. If someone's shooting at you, that's really really difficult.
Don't get shot at while you get a notification, friend. That's the
congrats, you're getting shot at.
That would be a funny notification.
Just
especially like get shot at by like 10 different people. Like
congratulations, you can't see.
Now you can't see, you're gonna die. This is like a penalty for you for clearly being so much better than everybody else in your game. But yeah, like I'm excited to kind of mess around with the new battle pass mechanics, see if it actually is faster, because I haven't finished the last few battle passes. It's just been too much of a grind to like get through it. So I don't know. We'll see if this one is like allows you to kind of progress a little bit quicker. That would definitely be nice. All right, but I think that is there anything that I left out? I think that's all the major changes.
Not that I know of. I mean, there's other. I mean, could be other things. I mean, they don't have patch notes, man. So it's been a lot of. It's been fun figuring things out, but hopefully by next week we'll see some
patch notes. Yeah,
actual specifications.
Yeah, it does feel a lot. Overall, though, it feels so much better. Like just so much cleaner, simpler. Back to like what Fortnite used to be in a sense. Like obviously, there's still some crazy good people at building.
Ranking system feels nice.
Yeah, the ranking system does feel good. Overall, the whole game feels good. So I'm definitely happy with it. The last couple of weeks, like the last few shows that you and I did together, I feel like we were just going on rants of like
ripping our hair out,
disgust. Like, so thank you, Fortnite, for giving the competitive community at least
nice
one
sigh of relief.
Yeah, breathe easy. Speaking of the competitive community, so the new season starts now. You can already play Arena right now, and it's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. But the new, like, I forget what they call it, like the season, like the actual competitive tournament circuit, right? I can't remember the name of it right now because I'm dumb. But that starts in November, and for the first time ever, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have squads in serious, Champion Series. Thank you, production. We're going to have squads in competitive Fortnite. And I think, there's been tournaments that have done it, like, streamer tournaments and that sort of thing. But if I'm not mistaken, this is the first, like, super serious event where squads, 4-man squads, is actually, like, the game mode in competitive Fortnite, where you're going to see legitimately the best players in the world fighting in squads. So 4 weeks of qualifier action, the 4 weeks in November, and then December 6th through 8th is the finals for each region. 5 milli on the line overall, so I'm assuming it's probably like $1 million in like North America, Europe. Actually, might be more like 2 in North America and Europe, and then like every other region can take a little bit of money. But like, let's be real, they aren't good anyway. So, maybe South America. I guess you have King in South America. Okay. He should probably get paid, but he's like 13. You give that kid $100,000, he's fine. And you're talking about giving a kid in South America American dollars.
My God,
right? Like, That's a lot of money.
He ain't hurting after that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty excited though. Like, we haven't squads has always been more of like a streamer fun type thing. It's never been like a competitive game mode. So I'm actually really interested to see like how it ends up working.
Those comms
you don't really have any experience. Yeah, the comms are gonna be super hectic. But like with some of these new support mechanics too, like I'm curious to see like how it'll all kind of work, and like will some of these teams like just designate one guy like, hey, here's the deal, you get an assault rifle and you have all of our support items. Like carry all the band-aids, all the shields, carry
That's what I was waiting for mainly. I wanted to see squads in Fortnite because then people are really now going to start to, play into those role-based squad type games. Yeah, I mean now with being able to heal your teammates from afar, being and having to hold 2 slots for that, there's going to have to be probably a designated utility player. But I might have to think about that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm not sure about. Like, what will we have a designated player for that, or will all players just try and be self-sufficient like they are in duos and kind of in trios as well? Like, I was thinking we might see that in trios, but we didn't. I guess it was still too much. 2v3 was still too big of an advantage, like having a whole like 50% more firepower on your team. But now when you're talking about only 33% more insanely aggressive firepower.
Yeah, but it's also interesting because you have to think. I agree with what you're saying, but also have to think back to coming with like a role-based squad. If you do that or have that strategy kind of down with your team, think of it in a sense where you have a game like Overwatch, where if you're really really good at playing support, playing a role where you're a healer and you're really good at that, you're probably really good at focusing on making sure your team is up to par, your team is healed. Rather than focusing on your enemies and trying to shoot them and attack them. that's not something that has really been seen in a Fortnite game or as far as squads go or anything. I mean, yeah, you'll after a fight, hey, drop me a bandage. Here, I have some slurp juice or some shields for you or minis for you. But during fights and things where maybe you can occasionally get a pop shot off, but focusing your main priority on in the middle of fights, going back and forth between all three of your teammates and making sure that they're healed. I'm excited to see if anybody can actually master that, or like see if there's a player that just gets really, really good at doing that just with their spatial awareness and keeping fights alive. It is going to be kind of difficult because, I mean, this isn't like, the games don't ever work like the trailers do. You know what I mean? Like this is, everybody's building constantly. There's a lot. There's never an area where everyone's really out in the open. So this is going to have to be something where you're also tethered to your team if you do play that role.
Yeah, maybe you're a sniper in the early to mid game. I feel like
if you have somebody add a healing sniper.
I'll sit back.
Ooh, I mean, I'm not sure
the players on rejoice.
That thing. I haven't really tried to.
Dude, they should definitely do that. Like, do you play Overwatch?
Of course. Anna's got that sniper that can heal.
She's awesome. You can shoot the other person or you can shoot your teammates. Like same. Like I would love a gun like that. Yeah, I would love a gun like that in Fortnite. I feel like that would be super cool, especially if squads is going to be a thing we see. But I think this is probably a test.
Don't take any notes from Diva and bring the mech back. Just keep that out of the game.
Yeah, please.
Just be careful with that. Be very careful.
Yeah, no more Diva. We had a season of Diva. We don't want to see that ever again. Like It was fine, not really, but like it's over now, so we're gonna pretend it was fine and like just move on. Move on. Right. Yeah, I'm curious to see like how this test run goes because I feel like squads could be a really fun competitive game mode, but it's definitely going to be different.
Yeah, I mean, I really pray that the connections last. The game, looks great. When we spectate it, just with squads, I don't know if they're going to have any issues initially with that, but we'll have to see. I think at this point, though, they have a lot of those bugs kind of fleshed out. Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how it works as a spectating experience. We'll kind of get into that specific part of it a little bit later in one of the hot takes. But, the last thing to do with the competitive update was that they're actually making they made some audio adjustments. So they keep saying this. Now, apparently, finally, we're going to have like actual 3D sound where like you can actually hear all around 360 degrees, which would be really, really nice. But I don't know because they keep saying that they're going to do this and like also prioritizing like important noises. But like I feel like all the noise if it's relatively close to you is important. But then like if a sniper rifle's far away from you, that's still important because you need to know like where that is and where maybe he's even shooting at you. It's just far away and maybe you just missed by a bit or something. But like it's still worth like knowing. So I'm not sure how that I don't know. Until I actually play this game where I'm like, oh my god, the audio is fantastic. Like I'm never gonna believe this. Well, I can tell you firsthand, the audio is fantastic compared to what we were dealing with. And the most noticeable difference is the glider sound. The glider sound is perfect now. It's crazy how much better it is. Because before, when you were flying into a POI, you heard gliders everywhere. You heard all kinds of gliders all over you. And it was just whatever was nearby, you heard the sound of. And now, from what I've played, and I played about it was like 10 to 12 games, you really only hear a glider swooping in, like that whistle, if they're coming in, like, I guess, at your trajectory, are going to land near you. They don't really play that whistle if they fly by you, because like that's happened so many times where players so high in the air and they're whizzing by me, but I think they're about to land next to me, so I kind of freak out and spin around and put a wall down. But they actually kind of land relatively far, and if you were in kind of a dense point of interest, that would happen quite often. I noticed that was a really heavy improvement. Okay. Yeah. See, I've only played like maybe 5 games. Just try to see if you notice any difference with that.
Dude, you're giving me way too much credit. Ever since they got rid of the original tilted towers, I'm the guy who lands like in the most remote. Like I'll make do with a cabin.
Dude, the sound
like, I'll
in
figure it out.
general, the ambient noise in the map is great. Like I live by myself now, and I didn't expect them to add in like random like noise, like just noises in the like the deep background of the map of like, or like birds chirping. I was like, what the like, what is somebody in my apartment? Like I just because I wasn't used to that addition before in the game, but no, the game just sounds you feel a little bit more immersed. The game world feels richer. It feels more alive, vibrant. I love it. Love it.
Okay.
Night and day compared to like what you last saw me with. You guys probably watching right now. We're probably like, Trooper has not been on in what 3-4 weeks or 3 weeks. I missed that. He probably quit the show after that rant he went on. Like, that's probably what everyone thought. But I'll tell you that wasn't the case. It was I didn't hit them up and be like, dude, this game's awesome now. Can I come back on the show? Like it's just that perfect timing. Everything right now is
it works.
For them, it looks like they hit a tipping point, and the game feels very just different, just so much more different, but at the same time, nostalgic.
Yeah. Well, thank God, because it was honestly really, really bad. So I'm super happy that it's like at a good point now, because it definitely wasn't, and it needed to be, and it is.
Whatever.
So
as soon as you get a chance, I'd say play it, and you'll.
I played a bit. It's just like I didn't really notice. Like I wasn't in any situation that was chaotic enough for me to really take in the noise. Dude, I'm telling you, I drop as far away from humans as possible.
Well, like where they go from the trailer into the drop right into a game.
Oh yeah, but you play.
Love
bots.
That. I wish they would play. I wish they would play that song though every time you dropped in though.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, that bot game was.
I wasn't sure if they were bots because they have names that seem like real names.
Yeah, they gave them all names, but they were definitely bots. Like the amount of them that were running into walls and stuff. Like no, it was.
Yeah, they're good, man. Because I was still figuring out why I couldn't build. Like my controls were completely different. By the way, they reset them, and I couldn't build normally. So I was running in a house, and I like ducked behind furniture.
And
I was healing. Yeah, for some reason all mine were reset, and all my sensitivities were reset.
That's weird.
But I hadn't played in a little while, so. Maybe because I uninstalled and reinstalled, maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. That might have been why. But anyway, I hid behind some furniture and was healing up. And dude, the bot opened the door, shut the door, walked in, hunted me down, and just destroyed me. I was like, "Whoa, buddy, chill."
You died to a bot?
Oh yeah, I didn't make it out the first game. All my controls were different. What was I supposed to do,
bro? Shoot them. They were like shooting like this. They were like painting rainbows over people's heads.
Man.
Like.
That's why I kind of raised an eyebrow. I'm like, are these bots?
Yeah, they were.
I was really good.
Oh, man. That kind of messed with me because then the next game I played, I ran into an actual human and I was like, the speed at which you're building. It was intense. But all right, let's get into our hot takes here. So first thing, this post just made me laugh, honestly. And I thought that sometimes we're going to weigh in on good community discussions, and sometimes we just need to laugh at people who make really ridiculous posts. So this one, don't complain that arena is too hard. So apparently people on Reddit have been complaining. I really wish I had gotten some of like the individual usernames from people who were doing this complaining, because I would have loved to just like ridicule them mercilessly for being ridiculous human beings. But people are like, I can't make it into champs. Arena's too hard. This game is too like. Bruh, have you played a game? Like, are you gonna say that basketball's too hard because you didn't get to make the NBA? Yeah, what kind of ridiculous sort of statement is that?
If you weren't gonna go with that analogy, I certainly was. I mean, the person that made that post is 10 years old or less. No question about it. There is no question about that. I mean, the entitlement that comes out of that post. I mean, that's kind of that. It's almost like you have to think they're trolling. I mean, it's so ridiculous how.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the person who made that post, it was telling them to stop. So maybe that person's like got an actual brain, but the people that he's referring to.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's supposed to be very difficult. That's the whole point.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't really know. I think, again, like this is where, like, even though we've gone over it a bunch of times and, it's very well known how young the Fortnite community is, really, like, it like pops up in the most ridiculous ways. You're like, oh wait,
yep,
you guys have never competed in anything before.
It's true.
And also with the there's, I don't know if it's over yet, but there was definitely a period of like parenting where like last place got a medal. You know what I mean? Like every team in the tournament gets the participation. Yep. I got some of those. Like it's bullshit. You're standing there with like, yeah, why am I getting anything? We just got beat every single game.
But at least you all get ice cream after the game.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like the fact that is like currently a thing where people are saying it's too hard to get to champs. Well, like if it's too hard to get to champs, it means you're not good enough. Get better, practice. Like it's not just supposed to be given to you just because you play the game a lot. Like, and I get it from a certain perspective of probably a lot of people. If they're in champs, they can go and like be like, hey mom, let me play the game. I'm in champs. Like I can actually compete in these tournaments. Like I'm good enough. See, like my rating is high enough. Like. So they want to be like, no, like if you can't get to champs, like go to school.
That's true. They want to quit school so bad, but they suck and they gotta read. Doesn't that suck? It's like, dude, like you can't have everything handed to you like that. I mean, just
for it.
People have made sacrifices, and it is what it is, right? But there's so many players on Fortnite, so many that are competing. I mean. And so many of the players that end up making the cut are no-name players like from, other countries that barely stream but they're gods, So yeah, there's some stiff competition out there that you don't even know of.
Yeah. So stop whining, get back to practice. You're not AI. Can't be like, we're talking about practice. Yeah, we're talking about practice. Get back to it.
Yep.
You're not in champs. It's for a reason.
What he should do is he should make a new account and then drop in again so he can have a game with bots and have a great time. And then again, the game won't be too hard for him. Maybe he can do better than me. I got 64th place.
I'm pretty sure most people will do better than you.
Because my controls, man. It was my controls. I'm tired. I'm telling you.
Bro, you make me sad. You legitimately make me sad.
You better add this to a hot take, man. We're going to get in an argument.
Yeah. All right. All right, the second one, I wanted to talk about the best mode for competitive Fortnite because now, with squads being a thing, there's this Twitter poll. What's the best mode for comp? And it seems like overwhelmingly duo is the answer, 67%. Then 12 to solo, 11 to trio, and only 9% for squads. Which I think this is a premature vote. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen the best players in the world really take squads seriously. So let's relax on shitting on squads here, guys. But yeah, I mean, it seems like those three are all really, really close. Everybody seems to agree that duo is by far the best mode. Kind of inclined to agree with what we've seen so far. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it has probably the best balance of, I guess, watchability for viewers or excitement. Where a lot of people I saw they think solos is boring, which I mean I like playing solos, but I love watching solos, but trios feels really crazy, really chaotic at times. I guess duos is kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, because that's kind of the thing, right? Is when you're considering this, like it's from two perspectives. Like as a player, which mode is the best in terms of like maybe which mode is the most fun to play? Like I think solos probably gets a little bit of dislike there because most people prefer to play with somebody else. Like you don't like to be in your own game, just playing by yourself. Like that's
yeah. Well, that's also another thing. I think it adds also to the viewer perspective is that at least with a teammate, adding one teammate, you have now there's a communication that you have to deal with. So that adds another layer of just visual aid and excitement to the game and just a whole nother dynamic. And it's good also probably because not only the way also how easy it is. Much easier it is to keep track of over trios, but maybe the smoothness of gameplay that players have liked. I mean, I feel like, there's a number of things that it comes down to. There's so many variables, but it seems like, that it makes sense that it'd be the most popular.
Yeah. Because yeah, I mean, you have to balance it with like the not just how much the players enjoy it, but as you kind of mentioned a few times, like the spectator experience as well, right? I definitely think that they probably need to clean up their like UI or their spectator client for casters and for stuff like that with trios and squads. Like I think you need to give each team, like especially in squads, because there's only 25. Like you need to give each team their own like unique color palette almost. You know what I mean? Like on their nameplates or something like that, so that it makes it easier to like keep track of, because it's
especially in the end game or anything like that.
Yeah, well, in the end game, it's almost impossible, right? Like, and even then, like, even if you had your own unique colors, like that's the thing that I'm thinking with squads is we might see like 80 people end games. Yeah. Because there's only 25 squads, so that's only 25 like groups that you're gonna like, and obviously that group is gonna be running together. There's at least there's what like 12 or 13 points of interest, and then there's a couple of other like. I forget what the word they use for them is, like landmarks, I think, that are like many points of interest that have like some stuff.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you have like 10 of those. So all in all, you almost have like 25 named places for people to be, and you have 25 teams. So like, I don't see too many teams getting knocked out early. Yeah, I don't see too many teams getting knocked out early, honestly. Like, I think you could see like 60 to 80% end games easy. And if you have that, like, good God, is that going to be chaos?
Yeah, I want to see exactly what they've done, if they've changed anything going into this new chapter. I mean, I do like what they did with the spectator experience. I mean, the client, they upgraded that for sure. Just kind of condensing the whole overlay on the screen and kind of giving you all the necessary information. What I really like is how they added the number at the bottom that shows it shows your material on the game screen, but they have that number that shows like how many pieces you can put down, like how many you have left. So like as they're building in the end game, you see that number like at 80, and it's just dropping down significantly now to 70, now 60, because they're just building constantly and trying to build walls and ramps and floors and everything. I really appreciate that as a viewer.
Yeah, that definitely makes it, especially when they've got a bunch of like awkward numbers, like they have like 337 and then like 649.
Like we as players know that each thing is only going to cost 10, so regardless, they have 33 of that material left. But a person that's just tuning in, it's a lot easier to just say that's how many
builds they have left. Yeah,
it's just it can keep it a lot more simpler for people, exactly like you said.
Yeah. So I think overall it's good. Because you'll know roughly, but it gives you a good idea. So, but yeah, I don't know. I like duos a lot. I think the community kind of got this one right. I think duos is probably the best mode. It's that nice balance between teamwork and solo skill. Because once you have like 3 or 4 guys, then like more stuff gets pulled into it, right? Like, do you have like we were saying earlier, is there going to be a designated like healer type guy that's maybe not quite as good at taking down walls or winning build fights, but he's good at like the secondary support type role? I don't know. I still am not sure how that's going to go, but ultimately I think probably duos is the best of both worlds, but I'm interested to see squads for sure. I'm really, really curious. And the next week, I think, we'll already have, because this weekend is November 1st, right? No, next weekend is. So we have a week. Next week will be the 31st, 30th. Yeah. So not next week, but the week after, we'll actually have competitive action to like break down and look at and see how people did. So get your practice pants on, guys, because another tournament, 5 million up for grabs. Go get that money. All right. Yeah. Clips of the week.
Let's do it.
Let's go here. So the first one is from Brandon L33.
Okay. What you got for us, Brandon? Now, how recent are these clips?
They're all.
This one looks brand new.
Yep, they're all. I tried my best.
I was gonna say, I hope they're all Chapter 2.
I think they're all Chapter 2. I tried my best. No guarantees though, because I am an idiot.
You hear something? Oh, poor guy.
Through the wall snipe. Well, not really through the wall. Through the garage window.
The little window.
Through the window.
That is the clip. Well, I appreciate it. It's simple, but I love it. That's what I'm saying. You see these clips now because the game doesn't have all these crazy things added into it that's gonna have you like hop all over the place or gain height instantly or whatever.
Yep. So, and you even saw like the 60 XP for hitting a knockdown. Good job, Brandon. All right.
Yeah, it totally interrupts him.
That's my best in-game announcer impression. Hemcakes Deluxe.
I thought you said Pancakes Deluxe. I would have liked that.
Hemcakes.
He knows someone's there.
The guy's swimming, and he's like, I see you.
Ooh, yikes.
Nice shot, right?
Yeah, he did that through the dock, underneath the dock.
Yeah,
I think it went through the water.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that would work in real life. I think bullets can still hit you.
Threading the needle. Yeah, that almost looked like that movie Wanted when he was getting shot. Like those bullets almost shot his bullet, and the bullets would have collided in midair and bounced off each other.
Boom. Bullet explosion.
Whoa. Yeah,
it was a pretty nice night. Definitely, so far, more impressed with this one than clip one. But hey, there's a couple clips left. Dude MRG3.
That dude, Mr. G. He's hiding. Oh, getting some pop shots.
This is a little bit of a longer clip. The whole thing kind of the sequence takes a little bit to materialize, but
I don't mind. Impress me. I'm waiting.
He's hiding. He's hiding. Sees that guy there. Looks like his teammate got a shot on him. Boom. Gets the knock, which is nice.
Man, did he aimbot that guy?
Damn, son. So
locking himself with the builds. I like the strategy.
And now he picks up the grenades.
I love spamming grenades. I'm sorry. I love doing it.
So much fun. Now, he gets the knock again. See, calculated. He's like, you know what? I could get 60 XP, or I could get 120 XP for knocking him twice.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, like he's just kind of spraying his gun, and there's not really much the guy can do in that situation when he's trying to save his like teammate as well by building. Now here you see he's gonna win the build battle. This guy messed it up. He's gonna die, and he gets inside the build with the SMG, takes them both out. That's a duo wipe.
Damn, he made that. Oh man, that guy should have totally been able to outlast that. He panicked. You could tell he panicked.
Yeah. So see, this is
aggressive at the right time. That's why
he definitely got aggressive at the right time. The duo did not though, because you basically have to kind of know how much ammo a gun has, like roughly how long it can fire for, right?
Exactly.
So when you hear the guy shooting, like at this moment, right in a second here, where you're gonna see him stop shooting because he has to reload, like right now, boom. Like this is when you go super aggro, and
he starts building up, and
he took 1 second too long to do that. If he had been up maybe half a second, probably about a second and a half earlier, like almost anticipating that ammo was gonna be done, then that's when you can really get the turn on him.
And running uphill too helps him because he didn't have that angle.
Yeah, that did. He was actually really smart. Like he threw in a little crouch, like right at the top of the hill, kind of removed the angle. It was nicely done. Nicely done. All right, fourth and final clip. Bly, it's me. This is my personal favorite. We don't actually have a poll today, so it's just you and me, unless chat wants to weigh in and tell us.
Okay, I like that.
But I'm telling you right now that this is my.
Oh. Damn.
That would be 5. So you just got quad kill.
Oh my lord.
Quadra kill.
I mean, he might not get clip of the week just based on his frame rate, but I mean, that's still a good ass. Oof.
Yeah, his frame rate's pretty rough, but like.
Doink.
Dude got a quad kill.
Timed that so well.
Killed a whole squad. And
now those notifications I like.
Yeah.
I mean,
there needs to be one for squad wipe. There needs to be like a special notification, and they need that. Like they need the old school Halo announcement.
Good idea.
Squad wipe. Right.
I love that. Oh my.
Hey, God. Epic. I do consulting.
At level 75 in the battle pass, you unlock that where every time you get a squad wipe. Oh, that'd be great.
Right. Telling you guys, I'm out here.
If you pick anybody but Bly, it's me. I'm gonna punch you through the webcam, man.
Yeah, no, I told you up front. That's my vote.
Yeah, absolutely. That's clip of the week for sure. I mean, this guy just this was dead on. Like, not only with the aggro shots, but man, his awareness. I mean, how he's able to stay poised, virtually no health, has 30 HP, and he's like, I'm gonna extend down and pop this guy right when he edits through at the perfect time. I mean,
yeah, he had no shield.
Saw the future.
He lost 70 health in this whole skirmish here.
He just got shot. He ate those shots right in the back. Oh, actually, no. Yeah. Oh, the guy that shot him right there was the guy that got him down to 30. So he took advantage of him pushing, knowing he got him down so low, and then he took him out with the headshot. Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful work, friend. Good job, Bly. Yeah. Congrats. That's our clip of the week. The first one of chapter 2.
Gentleman and a scholar.
The first clip of the week of chapter 2.
Awesome. Gotta love it.
Had to happen. But I think that's it.
Like it.
You have anything else that we didn't talk about this week? It's been a while. So
no, I know it has. But there's been a lot of changes to the game. We covered as much as we could from memory. They don't have everything written down, so they kind of make it a little exciting for everybody to dive in and kind of test things out. I did see a Reddit post where somebody forgot a vending machine somewhere in the game, potentially.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure, which is hilarious to think about.
They just left it?
If that's true. I don't know if it works, but I did see a picture. Could have been an old picture. I have to go follow up on that because I don't want to start spreading false information. But yeah, it's good to see you, man, and appreciate everybody for tuning in. And I'm excited to do a lot more of these through Chapter 2, of course.
All right. Well, here's to hoping that Chapter 2 stays normal and doesn't go as insane as Chapter 1 went at the end.
Guys, it's 2017 again.
It is. We've got into a time machine. It's wonderful. All right, guys. That does it. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.